chosen one. A life-changing meeting is closer, God decided. Chosen one, what I'm about to share with you today is beyond anything you could have imagined. Have you ever felt that deep within your soul, something extraordinary was about to unfold? That the universe was aligning just for you? If you're watching this right now, it's not by accident. God has led you here because something incredibly powerful is about to unfold in your life. A life-changing meeting with God is closer than you think. Yes, you heard that right. God has decided that the time is now. The moment you've been waiting for, the divine encounter you've longed for, is drawing near. This isn't just another spiritual message. This is different. Why? Because today, I'm going to reveal something that few people understand about divine timing and chosen souls. What if I told you that the confusion, the waiting, the uncertainty you've been feeling were all signs pointing to this very moment? Can you feel it? That stirring in your spirit, that knowing that something is about to shift. This isn't just a moment of prayer or hope. This is your moment of transformation, of alignment, and of divine purpose. As a chosen one, God is preparing you for this sacred encounter, and you're about to experience shifts in your life that will leave you in awe. By the end of this video, you'll understand why you're being called now, how to recognize the divine signs already appearing in your life, what this life-changing meeting means for your destiny, how to prepare yourself for this sacred moment. But before we dive deeper into this transformative message, take a moment to pause and do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers, and here's something special. Leave a comment with the number 99. This number will activate the divine energy surrounding you and amplify the power of this moment. And remember, if you're truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the end, because your spirit knows this truth is meant for you. Are you ready to receive this life-changing message? Then get ready, because everything is about to change. Part 1. Signs of divine selection. Have you ever felt a sudden shift in your spirit, as if the very air around you became charged with divine energy? Do you sometimes experience moments of inexplicable knowing, when your soul resonates with a truth beyond words? What if these weren't just random occurrences, but sacred signs of your divine selection? Let me share with you a profound story from the ancient scrolls that illuminates the way God marks his chosen ones. In the time of the prophet Samuel, there was a young shepherd boy named David. On the surface, he appeared ordinary, the youngest of 8 brothers, spending his days tending sheep in the fields of Bethlehem. But God saw something in David that others couldn't see, something that transcended the physical realm. When Samuel arrived at Jesse's house, seeking the future king of Israel, he looked at each of David's brothers, tall, strong, and impressive men. Yet God spoke to Samuel, saying, "Do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature. For the Lord does not see as man sees. For man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Just as David experienced divine selection, you too may be experiencing similar signs right now. These markers of divine choosing often begin subtly, like gentle whispers in your spirit. Think about the recent changes in your life. Have you noticed an unexplainable restlessness in your soul? A divine discontent with the ordinary? This is often the first sign, a holy stirring that makes the familiar feel somehow different. The second sign manifests in your dreams and thoughts. Just as Joseph in Egypt received divine wisdom through dreams, you might find yourself awakening with unprecedented clarity, your mind filled with visions and insights that seem to come from beyond yourself. But perhaps the most profound sign is the one that touches your physical being. Many chosen ones report experiencing unusual sensations, a warmth in their chest, a lightness in their body, or a tingling sensation that seems to course through their very being. These physical manifestations aren't random. They're sacred markers of divine selection. Remember Moses at the burning bush. He experienced Not just a spiritual calling, but physical signs. The bush that burned but wasn't consumed, the staff that turned into a serpent. God often uses physical signs to confirm spiritual selection. In modern times, these signs haven't changed in essence, only in expression. You might notice synchronicities, repeated numbers, meaningful coincidences, or divine appointments that seem too perfect to be random. These are the modern equivalent of the burning bush, God's way of getting your attention in a world full of noise. The third sign manifests in your relationships and circumstances. Just as Ruth found herself divinely positioned in Boaz's field, you might notice doors opening and closing in ways that seem orchestrated by an invisible hand. People may begin to treat you differently, recognizing something in you that they can't quite explain. But here's what makes this moment so crucial. These signs are intensifying. The divine selection process is reaching a crescendo, and you're standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. Think about the pattern in biblical history. Before every major move of God, he first prepared his chosen ones through a series of signs and wonders. Before Moses led the Exodus, before David became king, before Mary carried the Messiah, there were signs that marked them as chosen. You're experiencing these same patterns now, but with an urgency that speaks of imminent divine intervention. The restlessness in your spirit, the clarity in your mind, the physical sensations, the divine positioning, they're all pointing to something greater. And just as Samuel had to look past the obvious to recognize David's divine selection, you too must learn to see beyond the surface of these signs. They're not just random spiritual experiences. They're divine markers carefully placed along your path to confirm your chosen status. But here's what many don't understand. These signs are just the beginning. They're like the first drops of rain before a mighty storm of blessing, the initial tremors before a spiritual earthquake that will shake your life to its foundations. As we continue this journey together, you'll discover how these signs are leading you toward that life-changing divine encounter. The signs you're experiencing now are preparing you for something far greater than you could have imagined. Remember, when God marks someone for divine purpose, he leaves no room for doubt. The signs you're seeing are his way of confirming your role in his divine plan. And as we move forward, you'll understand exactly how to respond to these sacred markers in your life. Part 2. The approaching divine encounter. Have you ever felt the weight of divine timing pressing upon your soul? Have you sensed that extraordinary moment drawing near when heaven and earth align just for you? Can you feel the sacred anticipation building in your spirit? Let me share with you a profound truth that echoes through the ages, one that reveals why this divine encounter is approaching you now. In the ancient scrolls of the book of Exodus, we find a remarkable parallel to your journey. Moses, a man who thought himself ordinary, was going about his daily tasks when he encountered something extraordinary, the burning bush. But what many don't realize is that this wasn't a random moment. God had been orchestrating every detail of Moses' life, preparing him for that divine encounter. Just as Moses had to be in the right place, at the right time, walking on the backside of the desert, your life has been carefully choreographed for this approaching meeting. Every step you've taken, every challenge you've faced has been part of a divine preparation. Think about the moments in your life that seemed random, the unexpected delays, the sudden changes, the apparent setbacks. These weren't accidents. They were divine appointments being set into motion, just as Joseph's path to leadership in Egypt was paved with what appeared to be setbacks, but were actually stepping stones. In the book of Esther, we find another powerful example. Esther became queen for such a time as this. The timing wasn't coincidental, it was divine. And just like Esther, you're being positioned right now for something momentous. The signs are appearing more frequently now. Perhaps you've noticed increased synchronicities, moments of unexpected clarity, or a deep stirring in your spirit. These are similar to the signs that preceded Samuel's calling in the temple. Subtle at first, but growing stronger and clearer. But why now? Because divine timing operates on a different level than human timing. In Isaiah 55:8-9, God declares, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, my ways." This divine encounter approaching you has been planned since before time began, waiting for this precise moment when you would be ready to receive it. Consider Daniel, who had to wait 21 days for his divine encounter while spiritual warfare raged in the heavenly realms. Your waiting period hasn't been empty. It's been filled with preparation, alignment, and positioning. Even when you couldn't see it, the approaching divine encounter isn't just about meeting with God, it's about stepping into the fullness of your purpose. Like David, who was anointed long before he became king, this encounter will mark the beginning of a new chapter in your divine destiny. You might be wondering, how will I know when it's time? Just as the wise men followed the star to find Jesus, you'll be given clear signs. The divine breadcrumbs are already being laid out before you. Each synchronicity, each unexplained knowing, each moment of divine coincidence is leading you closer to this sacred meeting. What makes this moment particularly significant is that it's not just about personal transformation. It's about divine timing, aligning with global purpose. Just as Nehemiah's moment to rebuild Jerusalem came at a specific time in history, your divine encounter is connected to a larger spiritual awakening taking place across the earth. Remember, when God called Abraham, he didn't reveal the entire journey at once. He simply said, "Go to the land I will show you." Similarly, you don't need to see the entire path ahead. You just need to recognize that this divine encounter is approaching and prepare your heart to receive it. As we continue our journey together, you'll discover how to prepare yourself for this sacred moment, how to recognize the signs that are already manifesting in your life, and how to position yourself for what God is about to do. But before we move forward, take a moment to reflect. Have you been sensing these divine markers in your own life? Have you felt that subtle shift in your spirit telling you something profound is about to unfold? Pay attention to these inner knowing, for they are the whispers of what's to come. Let's delve deeper into understanding how this divine preparation has been unfolding in your life and what it means for your spiritual awakening. Part 3. Your spiritual awakening. Have you ever felt a sudden shift in your spiritual awareness, as if a veil was being lifted from your eyes? Have you experienced moments where the ordinary world seemed to pulse with an extraordinary energy, and everything around you held deeper meaning? What if I told you these aren't just random occurrences, but divine signals of your spiritual awakening? Let me share with you a profound story from the book of Samuel that illuminates the journey you're about to embark upon. Young Samuel, serving in the temple under Eli, heard a voice calling his name in the night. 3 times he ran to Eli, thinking it was his mentor calling. But it wasn't until the 3rd time that Eli realized God was calling Samuel directly. Think about that moment. A young boy chosen by God, experiencing his first spiritual awakening. He didn't recognize it at first, just as you might not have recognized the signs in your own life. The subtle whispers, the gentle nudges, the unexpected moments of clarity that seemed to come from nowhere. Just as Samuel's awakening marked the beginning of his prophetic journey, your spiritual awakening is now unfolding. But unlike Samuel's time, your awakening is happening in an age where the divine speaks through multiple channels, weaving through the fabric of your daily life in ways both subtle and profound. Consider what's been happening in your life lately. Have you noticed increased synchronicities? Numbers that seem to follow you everywhere? Dreams that feel more vivid, more meaningful? These are not coincidences. Just as God prepared Samuel through his years of service in the temple, he has been preparing you through every experience of your life. Your spiritual awakening is similar to what Moses experienced at the burning bush. Remember how he was going about his ordinary daily tasks, when suddenly he encountered something extraordinary. The bush burned but was not consumed. This is happening in your life right now. Ordinary moments are being infused with extraordinary spiritual significance. But here's what makes your awakening unique. You're experiencing what I call the divine download, a supernatural upgrade to your spiritual sensitivity. Like a radio being tuned to the perfect frequency, your spirit is being aligned to receive divine messages with unprecedented clarity. You might be feeling it already, a heightened awareness of energy around people and places, sudden insights into situations that previously confused you, a deep knowing that transcends logical understanding, an overwhelming sense of purpose and divine timing. This awakening isn't just about personal transformation. Like Ezekiel's vision of the valley of dry bones, your awakening is part of a larger divine movement. You're being positioned as a vessel for God's purpose in these crucial times. The internal changes you're experiencing now, the increased intuition, the spiritual sensitivity, the moments of profound clarity, these are your burning bush moments. They're your Samuel in temple experiences. They're your Samuel in temple experiences. They're your divine preparation for what's coming next. Remember the disciples on the road to Emmaus? They walked with the risen Christ, but didn't recognize him until their spiritual eyes were opened. Similarly, your awakening is opening your spiritual eyes to see what's been there all along. Your divine purpose, your sacred calling, your unique role in God's grand design. As we transition into understanding how this awakening will transform your life, know this: just as dawn breaks gradually, painting the sky in ever-brightening hues before the sun appears, your spiritual awakening is unfolding in perfect divine timing. The light you're seeing now is just the beginning of a glorious new day in your spiritual journey. You're not just awakening to a new spiritual reality. You're being prepared for a divine encounter that will change everything. The confusion you might feel, the intensity of emotions, the overwhelming sense of something big approaching. These are all birth pangs of your new spiritual consciousness. Take a moment now to breathe deeply and acknowledge this truth. You are being divinely positioned for an encounter that will transform not just your life, but the lives of countless others through you. This awakening is your preparation for that sacred moment. As we move forward to understand how this transformation will manifest in your life, remember, your awakening is not just a personal journey. It's a divine appointment with destiny. And just as Samuel needed Eli's guidance to recognize God's voice, I'm here to help you understand and navigate these profound changes in your spiritual awareness. The question isn't whether you're experiencing a spiritual awakening. The question is, are you ready to embrace the full magnitude of what God is unveiling in your life? Part 4. Transformation process. Have you ever wondered why some transformations in life feel different, deeper, more profound, more divine? What if I told you that the spiritual transformation you're about to experience is similar to what Moses encountered at the burning bush? Can you imagine standing at the edge of your own Red Sea, knowing that a miracle is about to part the waters of your life? Let me share with you a profound truth that has echoed through the ages, from the ancient halls of Jerusalem to this very moment in your life. In the book of Exodus, we find a remarkable story of transformation. Moses, a man who once lived in the palatial splendor of Egypt, found himself in the wilderness of Midian. He wasn't just physically in the desert. His soul was wandering too. Does this feeling resonate with where you are right now? But God had a plan. At the burning bush, Moses encountered something that would forever change him. The scripture tells us that the bush burned but was not consumed. This wasn't just a miracle. It was a divine metaphor for the transformation process you're about to experience. You see, true transformation, the kind that God orchestrates, doesn't destroy who you are. Like that bush, you will burn with divine purpose, but you won't be consumed. Your essence remains, but everything about you is illuminated with holy fire. Think about this. When God called Moses, he didn't just give him a new task. He gave him a new identity. I am has sent you, God declared. This same God is speaking to you now, preparing you for a transformation that will redefine your very essence. But let's be honest, transformation isn't always comfortable. Moses resisted at first. "Who am I?" he asked. "I am slow of speech." How many times have you felt the same way, questioning your worthiness, doubting your abilities? This is where the divine transformation process becomes truly remarkable. Just as God provided Aaron to support Moses, he has already positioned people and circumstances in your life to support your transformation. Nothing is random. Every relationship, every challenge, every victory has been preparing you for this moment. Consider the profound symbolism in Moses' first miracle, his staff turning into a serpent. When God asked him to grab the serpent by its tail, Moses had to face his fears literally. Your transformation will require the same courage. You'll need to grasp what frightens you, trusting that in God's hands, even your fears become tools of power. But here's what makes your transformation uniquely powerful. Unlike Moses, who had to learn through trial and error, you have been chosen for this specific time. The divine wisdom of the ages is available to you. The same God who transformed a shepherd into a deliverer is orchestrating your transformation with even greater precision. As your faith deepens through this process, you'll notice 3 distinct phases. First comes the release, like Moses leaving his shepherd's life behind. You'll find yourself naturally detaching from things that no longer serve your divine purpose. Don't resist this unburdening. Then comes the revelation, similar to the burning bush moment. Expect divine encounters that will illuminate your true purpose. These might come through dreams, visions, or profound moments of clarity. Finally, there's the rebirth. Just as Moses emerged as a leader, you'll step into a new identity, equipped with divine authority and purpose. The transformation you're experiencing isn't just about personal growth, it's about divine positioning. Just as Moses' transformation served a greater purpose for God's people, your transformation will impact countless lives. Your transformation will impact countless lives. Are you beginning to see why this moment is so crucial? Why God has chosen this specific time for your transformation? As we continue this journey together, remember that what you're experiencing isn't just change, it's divine metamorphosis. Like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, you're not just changing form, you're fulfilling your destined purpose. Remember this: when Moses finally embraced his transformation, the impossible became possible. Seas parted, water flowed from rocks, and God's power was displayed in unprecedented ways. Your transformation holds the same potential for miracles. As we move forward, I'll reveal how this divine transformation is already manifesting in your daily life, showing you signs that confirm you're on the right path. The journey ahead is extraordinary, and like Moses, you'll find that every step has been divinely orchestrated. Are you ready to embrace this sacred transformation? To step into the fullness of who God has created you to be? Your burning bush moment awaits. Your Red Sea is about to part. The transformation has already begun. Part 5. Navigating the shift. Have you ever felt like your entire world was shifting beneath your feet? Like everything you once knew to be true was being challenged? What if I told you that this very discomfort is a sacred sign of your spiritual evolution? Let me share with you a profound story from the book of Exodus, one that perfectly mirrors the journey you're experiencing right now. Remember Moses, standing before the burning bush on Mount Horeb. Here was a man who had everything figured out, a comfortable life as a shepherd, far from the complexities of his past in Egypt. But God had other plans. That day, Moses encountered what I call the divine disturbance. The burning bush wasn't just a miracle. It was a moment of complete paradigm shift. Every certainty Moses held about his life, his purpose, his very identity, was about to be transformed. Imagine standing in Moses' sandals for a moment. The bush burns, yet it isn't consumed. Your curiosity draws you closer, and suddenly you hear the voice of God. In that moment, everything changes. Your simple life as a shepherd suddenly seems distant as God reveals a purpose far greater than anything you could have imagined. This is exactly where you are right now. Like Moses, you're experiencing what I call the 3 waves of divine transformation. The first wave is disruption, when God begins to shake the foundations of your comfortable existence. You might feel unsettled, uncertain, maybe even afraid. This is normal. Remember how Moses initially resisted his calling. He said, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" The second wave is dissolution, when old beliefs, relationships, and patterns begin to fall away. This can be the most challenging phase. You might find yourself questioning everything, feeling isolated, or struggling with doubt. But just as Moses had to let go of his identity as a shepherd to become a liberator, you too must release what no longer serves your divine purpose. The third wave is direction, when clarity begins to emerge from the chaos. Like the pillar of fire that guided the Israelites through the wilderness, God will illuminate your path. But here's the key. This guidance often comes only after you've walked through the discomfort of disruption and dissolution. But let me tell you something crucial. These shifts you're experiencing, they're not random. They're not punishment. They're preparation. Think about Joseph in Genesis. Before he could step into his destiny as a leader who would save nations, he had to endure the pit, slavery, and prison. Each challenge was a divine classroom, preparing him for a purpose beyond his wildest dreams. You see, when God desires to elevate you, he first excavates within you. Every feeling of uncertainty, every moment of doubt, every circumstance that pushes you out of your comfort zone. These are all part of your divine preparation. These are all part of your divine preparation. This is where many chosen ones stumble. They resist the shift, fighting to maintain control, clinging to the familiar. But here's the profound truth. Your greatest breakthrough lies just beyond your greatest discomfort. Remember David. Before he could become king, he had to face Goliath. Before he could rule from a palace, he had to hide in caves. Each challenge was crafting him into a leader after God's own heart. So how do you navigate this sacred shift? First, embrace the discomfort. Don't run from it, don't numb it. Let it do its work in you. Second, maintain your spiritual practices. Prayer, meditation, studying sacred texts. Prayer, meditation, studying sacred texts. These become your anchors in the storm. Third, stay connected to divine guidance. Like Samuel, learn to recognize God's voice, even in the midst of confusion. As you move through this transformation, remember, the intensity of your challenge reflects the magnitude of your calling. The greater the shift, the greater the destiny that awaits you. And here's something remarkable. Just as Moses' encounter at the burning bush was just the beginning of an extraordinary journey, your current experience is merely the prelude to something far greater. God is positioning you, preparing you, for a divine appointment that will change not only your life, but the lives of countless others. As we continue this journey together, remember, the same God who guided Moses, strengthened Joseph, and anointed David is with you now, orchestrating every detail of your transformation. The shift you're experiencing isn't just change, it's divine choreography. In our next segment, we'll explore how to prepare yourself for the profound revelations that await you. But for now, embrace this sacred shift, knowing that every moment of uncertainty is actually a moment of divine preparation. The question isn't whether you'll make it through this transformation. The question is who you'll become in the process. And I can assure you the version of you that emerges will be more powerful, more aligned, and more divinely equipped than you ever imagined possible. Part 6. Divine Preparation. Have you ever wondered why some divine encounters seem to pass us by? Why certain moments of spiritual breakthrough feel just out of reach? What if I told you that divine preparation is not just about waiting, but about active engagement with God's timing? Let me share a profound story from the book of Esther that illuminates the power of divine preparation. In ancient Persia, a young Jewish woman named Esther found herself in an extraordinary position. But her uncle Mordecai's words still echo through time. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? This wasn't just a question. It was divine revelation about preparation. You see, Esther didn't simply walk into her destiny. She underwent a full year of preparation before meeting King Xerxes. 12 months of purification, 6 with oil of myrrh and 6 with special spices and ointments. Each step was meticulously planned, each moment crucial to her ultimate purpose. But here's what most people miss about Esther's preparation. It wasn't just physical beautification. It was a profound spiritual transformation. During those months of waiting, she was being shaped into a vessel capable of carrying divine purpose. Think about this. While Esther was in preparation, she had no guarantee of success. She faced the same doubts you might be experiencing right now. The same uncertainties. The same questions about whether she was truly chosen for such a momentous task. Just like Esther, your divine meeting requires preparation. But what does this mean for you right now, in this moment? First, understand that preparation is about alignment. Just as a key must be perfectly shaped to open a lock, your spirit must be aligned to receive what God has prepared. This isn't about perfection. It's about perfection. It's about positioning. The ancient prophets understood this. Before receiving divine revelation, Daniel spent 21 days in prayer and fasting. Moses had 40 years in the wilderness. Even Jesus spent 40 days in the desert before beginning his ministry. But here's the critical truth that's often overlooked. Divine preparation isn't about earning God's favor. It's about creating space for divine encounter. Think of it like tuning a radio. You're not creating the broadcast. You're positioning yourself to receive it clearly. In these moments leading up to your divine meeting, you need to focus on 3 key areas. First, spiritual sensitivity. Like a muscle that needs exercise, your spiritual senses need to be sharpened. This means creating quiet moments for divine communion, learning to recognize God's voice amidst the noise of daily life. Second, heart preparation. Just as Esther underwent physical purification, you need emotional and spiritual purification. This means releasing old hurts, forgiving past wounds, and clearing space for new divine downloads. Third, mindset alignment. Your thoughts need to align with divine purpose. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about kingdom thinking. Seeing yourself as God sees you, understanding your role in His divine plan. But here's what makes this moment different. The preparation you're experiencing now isn't just for you. Like Esther, your divine meeting will have ripple effects that impact others. Your breakthrough isn't just personal. It's generational. I'm seeing signs of this preparation already manifesting in the lives of chosen ones. People are reporting unprecedented dreams, supernatural peace in the midst of chaos, and divine connections that seem too perfect to be coincidental. Remember this. When God prepares you for a divine meeting, He's not just working on your circumstances. He's working on your circumstances. He's working on you. Every delay, every seeming setback, every moment of waiting is part of the preparation process. As we transition into understanding how this preparation will manifest in your life, know this: you're not just preparing for a moment. You're being positioned for a movement. The divine meeting approaching isn't just about what you'll receive. It's about who you'll become. And as these pieces align, as your preparation reaches its culmination, you'll understand why every step of your journey was necessary. Just as Esther's year of preparation positioned her to save a nation, your season of preparation is positioning you for purpose beyond your imagination. Are you beginning to sense it? That stirring in your spirit, that knowing that something profound is unfolding? Stay tuned, because what comes next will reveal how this divine preparation is about to manifest in ways that will leave you in awe. Part 7. The Promise of Fulfillment. Have you ever wondered what happens when a divine encounter finally manifests? What transformative power lies within that sacred moment when heaven touches earth? And how does one truly prepare for a meeting that will forever alter the course of their destiny? Let me share with you a profound story from the book of Genesis that illuminates the magnitude of such divine encounters. Remember Jacob, the son of Isaac, who fled from his brother Esau? On a seemingly ordinary night at Peniel, Jacob experienced something extraordinary, a divine encounter that would change not just his life, but the destiny of nations. Picture this: a man alone in the wilderness, carrying the weight of his past decisions, uncertain about his future. The night sky stretches endlessly above him, stars scattered like divine promises waiting to be fulfilled. In this moment of solitude, something unprecedented occurs. Jacob finds himself in a wrestling match with God himself, an encounter that would last until daybreak. This wasn't just a physical struggle. It was a profound transformation of spirit and identity. As dawn approached, Jacob refused to let go until he received a blessing. And in that moment, something remarkable happened. God changed his name from Jacob to Israel, marking not just a new identity, but a new destiny. This story reveals a crucial truth about divine encounters. They come not just to comfort us, but to fundamentally transform who we are. Just as Jacob's encounter left him with both a blessing and a limp, your coming divine meeting will mark you forever. Not as a wound, but as a sacred reminder of God's touch on your life. But what does this mean for you, chosen one? Your approaching divine encounter carries the same transformative power. Like Jacob, you stand at the threshold of a divine appointment that will redefine your purpose, realign your destiny, and release unprecedented blessing into your life. This isn't just about receiving a message. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. Think about Moses before the burning bush, or Paul on the road to Damascus. Each divine encounter in Scripture wasn't just a momentary experience. It was a commissioning, a divine reorganization of purpose and identity. Your meeting will carry the same weight of glory, the same potential for transformation. The signs are already manifesting in your life. Perhaps you felt an unexplainable stirring in your spirit, a divine restlessness that can't be quieted. Maybe you've experienced unusual dreams, prophetic insights, or a deeper awareness of God's presence. These are not random occurrences. They are divine markers, preparing you for what's to come. But here's what makes your situation unique. You're living in a time of unprecedented spiritual awakening. The veils between heaven and earth are growing thinner, and God is raising up chosen vessels for his divine purposes. Your divine encounter isn't just about personal transformation. It's about your role in a larger spiritual awakening that's sweeping across the earth. When this meeting occurs, you'll experience 3 distinct phases of fulfillment. First, there will be a profound revelation of your true identity in Christ. Like Jacob becoming Israel, you'll receive a divine understanding of who you really are in God's grand design. Second, you'll experience a supernatural impartation of purpose and power. This isn't just about knowing your calling, it's about being divinely equipped to fulfill it. Finally, you'll receive specific directions and divine strategies for the next phase of your journey. This isn't vague spirituality. It's practical, actionable guidance from heaven itself. Remember, chosen one, that this divine encounter isn't just about what you'll receive, it's about who you'll become. The transformation that awaits you will affect every aspect of your life. Your relationships, your work, your spiritual authority, and your impact in the world. As we prepare to step deeper into understanding the practical preparations for this divine meeting, let me leave you with this thought. Just as Jacob's encounter at Peniel changed not just his life but the destiny of nations, your coming divine appointment carries generational impact. The blessing you're about to receive isn't just for you. It's for all those who will be touched through your transformed life. Are you beginning to grasp the magnitude of what God is orchestrating in your life? Can you feel the weight of glory that's about to be revealed? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share next will help you position yourself perfectly for this life-changing encounter. Conclusion: embracing your destiny. As we reach the end of this divine message, I want you to pause for a moment and truly reflect on everything we've discussed. You're not here by accident. Your presence right now is divinely orchestrated. Throughout this message, we've uncovered profound truths about your calling as a chosen one. We've explored the signs of divine selection, understood the significance of this approaching meeting, and revealed how God has been preparing you for this very moment. But here's what I want you to remember most. This divine encounter isn't just about receiving, it's about becoming. The transformation awaiting you will ripple through generations. Just as Abraham's yes to God changed the course of history, your willingness to step into this divine appointment carries similar weight. Now, I have a question for you. Will you say yes to this divine calling? Will you step forward into what God has prepared for you? The choice is yours, but remember, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Your doubts, your fears, your feelings of inadequacy, they're all part of the journey. Even Moses questioned his readiness when God called him at the burning bush. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, I want you to do something right now. Leave a comment below with "I am ready." Let this be your public declaration of faith, your moment of stepping out of the shadows and into your divine destiny. And if you have questions about your own journey, about the signs you're seeing, or about preparing for this divine encounter, share them in the comments. This is a sacred space for chosen ones to connect, support, and uplift each other. Before you go, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We're building a community of chosen ones, and your presence here matters. Hit that notification bell too, because God isn't finished speaking. There's more divine revelation coming. One final thought. Your life is about to change in ways you cannot imagine. The divine meeting approaching isn't just another spiritual experience. It's your moment of destiny. Stay ready, stay faithful, and above all, stay expectant. Thank you for allowing me to share this divine message with you. Remember, you're not just chosen. You're called for such a time as this. Until our next divine appointment, may God's presence guide you, His peace surround you, and His purpose unfold in your life. This isn't goodbye. It's just the beginning of your greatest chapter yet.